Hello, my Inkie friends. We have a little bit of words are hard. A little bit of technical difficulties and speech problems. If you are just tuning in to the replay, you can skip forward about 6 minutes because we're here a little early to say hello, and I have some things to share that I got in the mail and stuff like that. Turn on the fan because I forgot that. Heather's having technical difficulties. I'm having technical difficulties, but Mr. Inkie Fingers is here today.
Hi.
He's way down there. I don't have those mics on because people complained about them, but hello, Carol Thompson was here first today, followed right there. I think Dana pulled in the parking lot right next to her. Allie is here. I hope you're feeling well, Miss Allie. Allie had a pretty major surgery recently. Joe is here. Is Gizmo here? Because I have something to show everybody that Gizmo sent me. I think it's over here. I have a couple things over here, actually. Where's my thing from Gizmo? Oh, there it is. Okay. Gizmo sent me mail. All right. And we've got Sharon and Karen. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. And Mary and Cheryl and Karen and Heather's back. And hopefully her technical stuff will be fixing this up. You got to speak, though.
Okay. Hopefully that's fixed everything.
She's got a little bit of a humdinger going on there. Dana, I think I said Dana. Mary, don't want to skip Mary. And I see Crazy. Sharon, I see Sharon. I got mail from Sharon. And Cheryl Lee is here. Janice is here. Heather S is here. Hello, Heather. And Jeanette and Terry. So, thank you so much, everybody, for all the wonderful birthday wishes last week. I'm going to turn Heather down a little bit. There we go. The wonderful birthday wishes and cards and Christmas cards and things. And I just got to pull out envelopes here because I don't want to show anybody's addresses. There we go. Let me just make sure that I've got what from who. Okay, here. Like, I don't want to mess them up. Okay, I know who that's from. Okay, all right. Let's share. So my birthday, we went to the Keg. I had 2 lobster tails, and I had a bottle of wine to which I shared and gave Cheryl Lee probably half a glass, because they were big glasses, and I drank the rest, and I had a headache all day the next day, so I suffered a little for that, but there we go. All right, so someone knows I like pink and green. I wanted to see if you guys can catch the shimmer on this paper here, but this is a gorgeous, I won't open them because people wrote in them, but this is from Sharon. See, Sharon knows I love poinsettias, and she knows I like pink, poinsettias, and green. Look at it. Beautiful, right? I absolutely adore that card. And Gizmo, Gizmo is having way too much fun in these costumes, as you guys can see, right? Way too much fun. Look at him. How did you possibly keep him calm enough to take photos, Miss Joe? This is really cute, though. I want to let you guys know, Shutterfly, that's where Joe got this done. So if you're interested in this, not affiliated, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but just wanted to shout out to Shutterfly because that is super cute. And then you guys might remember this card, and Miss Heather cased it, and I have to tell you, it's really funny because I actually opened a card from Kimberly first, and here's the pink and green going on again. And it was so funny because inside she's got the happy 29th birthday from your 110-pound friend. I opened it at dinner with the girls. Kimberly was not there. She lives in Ontario. But I had a chuckle, and I said to Cheryl Lee, oh, it's just a stamp set that we all have except you from My Favorite Things. And then I opened Heather's card, and it was quite comical because she's another one of my 110-pound friends. So that was really funny. But this is a card that we did, I believe it was was it not in a Fun Reasons, Heather? It might have been a Fun Reasons.
I think it might have been.
It might have been, yes. Okay, I think I'll turn you up again because it sounds like your issue may have resolved itself. There we go. And then this one is, oh yes, this one. I can't see what you guys see. I lost my screen there. This one's from Todd. So he didn't make it this year, but look, it's got foiling on it. And, you know, it looks like a handmade card. Super cute. And then this one, Merry Christmas from Cheryl Lee. I had to pull this one out again because last week I got this one from Patty. And look at, great minds think alike, don't they? And Cheryl Lee made one of those, you know, funky cards with the little gnome. Everybody knows I love gnomes. And then I got a birthday card from Cheryl Lee and her with her little fancy folds and stuff going all out. And then from Jessica. Now I have to say, I opened this card from Jessica and this, you know how I put in the bubble wrap to protect the card? So Jessica's new to card making and we all want her to send us a card because check out her little insert thingy. It's felt on the back, but are you looking at this reflection stuff? I'm like, dude, I'm going to make something out of this. This is going into my specialty drawer. And I mean, we are having a nutcracking Christmas here. Excellent job, Miss Jessica. You know, she said she's new to card making, but I think she's doing a fine job. And actually, we've got some, I think that's different. This is paper, holographic stuff going on there. Miss Mia, that's Heather's granddaughter, came to dinner and drew a picture of Bella at dinner because, of course, Bella came in her stroller and she put the hat on her. And look at this. I'm going to frame this, right? So stinking adorable. So thank you guys so much for all these lovely birthday cards and wishes and emails and messages and private messages and Instagram messages. And thank you so much. But it is 6 o'clock. So today we are going to use Distress Oxides, we're going to use Copics, we're going to use Prismacolors, and we're going to use Polychromos all on the same card. And if you're like, why? Very good reasons why. But I did tell you guys I was going to show you my new storage for markers. So, markers, pencil crayons, if you will. So, there's 10 drawers. There's 2 4-piece sets here. So I just started with yellows and I go Prismacolor, Polychromos, Prismacolor, Polychromos. Todd wants to bring over the puppies. I'm going to let him do that in just 2 seconds. And whoops. Now in these little middle parts here, you can keep your pencil stumps for those perceptive. You can just keep these in there, okay? So it depends on what color drawer you want to pull out, but I just went red, pink, same thing, Prismacolor, Polychromos, and then I went purples, and there's enough purples that I did light purple, dark purple, and again, just put your little thingies in here. You can put your little erasers or what have you. Now, when I got to the very, very end, I'm going to flip the screen here and let Todd come and show everybody the puppies. Hold on. Everybody likes to see them once a week. So, Sally is still so tiny, but Chloe is growing so fast. I mean, oh my gosh. And today I got in from Amazon all the stuff we need to groom them at home. So, we're going to, hi baby, hello. You're supposed to look over here. You're supposed to say hello to everybody. Look at, she's all legs. But her hair is so long here. I mean, yeah, they need some grooms. And I was informed it's $70 to groom a puppy, whereas Bella is $60, but I guess puppies are more. So I'm going to watch YouTube videos and try to do the teddy bear cut. So who knows what these girls will look like next week, because look at them right now. Like, they're just so scruffy. But here, let me switch. Miss Sally is so docile and just such a pretty little Ewok. There we go. No, and look at her little white on her little chinny chin chin. Hey, Sally. Sally likes to chew you, and Chloe likes to just lick you to death. So it's always bath time. It's like, excuse me, we need some privacy here. It's bath time.
Would you still want me to chat?
No, we're okay right now. Okay, so back to here. Now, what I want to show you is, this is second from the bottom drawer, and I've got all my whites. Now, I went and picked up a Caran d'Ache Luminance. I think this is $8. These are like the most expensive there is. And I also picked up a Derwent Light Fast because I wanted to kind of compare the whites, because I know that the Faber-Castell white is not very opaque. I did the same thing with my blacks. I have an extra one in here because my black Prismacolor is almost done, so I bought an extra one. Then I have my, I don't want to call them blenders. I'm going to call them my burnishing pens or pencil crayons. And then the funky colors like the neons, the golds, the bronze. And then these are extras. I have a new one because the one I have is probably, actually, I wonder if I have one of these. I think is all ready to replace one I already put on my list. Now, if you do them kind of like I did them, you'll have a leftover drawer, and that's where I put all my silvers and golds, more gold and bronze. Okay, so I did link this for you guys. I was talking about this to you the other day. I said I would go into detail about it this week, so there you have it. It's not completely inexpensive, but it's not, you know, it's cheaper than a set of markers, let's put it that way. But I mean, it's forever, and you're gonna have it. I think I might take it out and spray paint it in the spring, spray paint it white, because I'm just kind of not having the whole brown. Right now I want to grab something else, because if you follow my Facebook, you will have noticed that I put up today the hex charts and swatch charts. Okay, so I basically everybody's always going to ask me, oh, where did you get those? And you know what, I'm always sending people somewhere else, so I'm not going to send you anywhere else. I went and I made all of these. Took me 2 days, but there's a bonus you guys are going to get with these too. Now, these are competitively priced. Most places give you this. Most places, I think there's 2 out there other than myself, and they give you 1 sheet. I'm going to give you the colored in sheet for both Polychromos and Prismacolors. But what I've got in here is I've got the name of the pen, or excuse me, pencil, the number, and then I've got the hex code. Okay, so what is the hex code? The hex code is what you change the text color to, or the box color, to make it the same color as your pencil. So why would you want that? Well, number one, because if you want to print the inside of an envelope, or if you want to print your envelope or print the inside of your card, you can print it in the colors that'll match what you colored in. You can print a full background in these colors or whatnot. It's nice to have the hex codes. So it was painstaking, but I figured I needed the hex codes to make these all this color professionally, so why not include them for you guys? Okay, so I did that. Now, I took those charts, I took everything away, even the PC for Prismacolor, because Prismacolor, we know it's every single one starts with PC. I took the PC away, I left just the numbers. Okay, now tip, when you're coloring these in and you get to one that it kind of colors over the number, because they're in black, pull out a Arteza. These are on my website. I think I'm the only person that sells them singly on the entire World Wide Web. So you can pick up a single one, or you can go to Amazon and pick up a box of 10 or 12. I don't know how many it is, but you can come in and you can just get this going and then write over top, because this marker will write over top of Prismacolor and over top of the Polychromos. Not a lot of markers will. The Copic, or excuse me, the Sakura white, the one that you've seen me use forever, has a problem. So that's why I switched to this, and this is way whiter anyway. So there's a tip on that. Now, the reason I got doing this for you guys is because I get coloring, okay? And then this is what I do. I pull out this here that I paid for on Etsy. And the reason I paid for this one is because it went from kind of like the rainbow, but I do like how Sandy Allnock does this here hex chart. So I was not going to do a hex because I do not want to copy her. Mine's a little different, but it's the same idea where colors are close to one another, like here. Okay, so you can kind of see which ones will go with one another, especially if you understand the color wheel. So what I find myself doing when I'm coloring, so I've got my image out. Let's pretend I I don't know. Let's pretend I'm coloring on this card, okay? And I want to get a red close to here. I was going like this, and I was trying to kind of match my reds, and I was like, oh, this is a pain in my butt. What I need is something like I saw Sarah Renee use, which are these. I'm including these with those charts. So you're getting 3 charts for less than the price of any one I've ever found out there. So PC, I left the PC on these so that if you've got them all mixed up together, you know which ones are your Prismacolors, okay? So when you print them, I cut them in pairs. You can cut them singly, but then that's just extra paper that's not really necessary. You don't need all those extra pieces, right? So here, I can come in with my red now, and I can match, and I can see that PC 923 is going to match. Now, if, let's say, for instance, I needed the green, well, that's okay. I just use this side, right? And then I can match this side for the blues, okay? So this helps me find the colors I need. Now, your Polychromos doesn't have a PC in front of it because it's a Polychromos, not a Prismacolor. So you'll know which one is which because these ones only have the number. Now, I am at some point also going to, not right away, and if you purchase one, I will save your order and I will notify you guys, and then you just go back to the PDF link and the PDF will be there for these. I've got this one done for the Polychromos, and what I did is the same hex codes that are on your chart are the same on these. Now, why would you want that? Let's say you don't have a full set and you're just buying a few pencils here and there. So you can now color them in on here, and as you're going through and trying to get an idea, now, disclaimer, this is not going to be a 100% perfect match for your pencil because it's, number one, printed on a computer. Number two, everybody's printers are different, but it's going to give you a pretty good idea what you're missing. And the nice thing about this is if you find, and I'll actually tomorrow morning go and include this. So if you purchase this tonight, you can come back in the morning and this will be included in that PDF. But if you find yourself always going, oh, 145, put a little pencil tick there. Right? And once you reach 3 or 4 pencil ticks, then you know that's the next one you're buying because you're always going to that 145, right? So I haven't got the Prismacolor one done yet, but I will get it done. This one, I'll upload it tomorrow. So you will always be able to come back forever, unlimited downloads. Unlike some places that only allow you, you know, up to 5 downloads, you'll have unlimited downloads forever. So you can come back and download that one, okay? So nevertheless, there you have those. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to use these tonight and how they're going to take my coloring to the next level and help me out. So what we're going to do is I've got a stamp here, already stamped it, from the Otterly Love You set, my favorite things. Speaking of my favorite things, I just got their kit yesterday, and their kit goes live on the 20th. I'm going live 5 minutes before the kit goes live. Not because I'm going to show you the stuff, but because I want to chat with you, and I'm going to be ready to go as soon as that goes live on the website. Because if I'm there 5 minutes early, then you'll be there, you know, at least a couple minutes early, and you will not end up seeing that it's sold out. Got a few messages last time. I told you guys, when those kits go live, you got to grab them if you want them, right, Heather?
Yes, you do. They go quick.
They go extremely quick. Okay, so let me take a breath here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this guy. This is what I did. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. Fun reasons to make cards. Well, let's go. Let's go. Okay, it happens to be right here still. I just typed in cute otter, okay? And it took me to a book on Amazon. I love you like no otter. And see this little image here? This is kind of what my inspiration was. I didn't really do that on the bellies. I could do it on his belly and a little bit on his belly if I really wanted to. I didn't do it on my example card. Well, we'll see. Let's see how it goes. So, as always, I've linked everything I'm going to use down below. And I even typed out all of the colors. Prismacolor, Faber-Castells, Copics. I linked and I listed everything. Distress oxides. So it'll say Distress oxides with a link and all the ones I used, okay? So I'm going to start with the Likely Llama or Lucky Llama, whatever I have it called. And what I'm going to do is I want to create the face to be, let's zoom in here. I want the face to be lighter, so I'm just going to start with the little circle in the face. Little circle in the face here. And then I'm going to go into my 41. And my 41 is going to kind of be around the side. Because I'm going to have the light coming from this center, but a little bit on this side. So let's go. I've already gone out of the lines. Good thing I got my artisan marker. A little bit here. And on my other one, I think I'm going to kind of change it a little bit. And then we're going to go. I'm not like Chrissy Gets Crafty here and all like, you know, nicey nice with my caps. But let me try. There we go. I'll try just for you. I try to do a good job just for you guys. All right, let's go light up here. Now, this 43 is a little bit of a challenge to get blended into your 41 because there's such a vast difference in the colors. So the key here, I've got the wrong color. The key here is to make sure that you've got some saturation. And I'm going to lose a lot of his lightness in his face here because I just colored it with the 43 by mistake. So that's okay. Keep it saturated, but watch around your lines, okay? If you saturate too much, I know I want to see thumbs up for anybody who's like, yep, that's me, saturated it too much and your lines kind of started to bleed a little. So if your lines bleed a little, you can take the artisan marker and come around on the outside and clean it up a little bit, okay? Because I got a tiny little bit of bleed there anyway, so I'll come in with the artisan and I'll just make sure that I clean that up a little bit, okay? All right, so let's get this guy. I want to get the saturation in here again because that's pretty dried up now since I moved on to Mama. These guys, I'm telling you, I've wanted these stamps for so long. I bought them about, oh my gosh, 6 months ago. They were on sale at a store I shop at in Canada, and they ended up just like every other stamp set in the cupboard, and I haven't used them. And today, Fun Reasons to Make Cards is National, hold on, not today, sorry. Today is the day we're making the card, but it is, oh, next week's a fun one. January 21st is National Hugging Day. So hence why I'm doing these ones, right? National Hugging Day on January 21st. So I thought, okay, let's do these guys. So a little there. I'm going to kind of come in and blend that out. So like I said, the 43 tends to be a little bit of a challenge to blend in here. And I actually got, now I want to give you guys a couple tips here about this artisan marker. First thing you want to do, wipe it off with a nice moist baby wipe, a dry baby wipe, piece of paper towel, whatever is in your GB. You know, your little GB you have. Okay, wipe it off because it's a acrylic paint marker, okay? So, because it's a paint marker, the paint up here gets all dry on the tip. Once you've done that, let me grab a black here so you guys can really see what I'm doing. Okay. I have little lines and stuff on the back here. You know why? Because when you stick it on that sticky piece and put it in your stamp positioner, the residue from the sticky stays on here, and God forbid you try to emboss on here, you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to understand why none of the embossing powder will come off. I figured it out. Anyhow, you're going to push, and don't worry about the pushy push because you know what? Your tip is made of plastic. So unlike a lot of other tips, you're not going to fray and break it. So do your little push, and if you get all this dust, it means you didn't get all the crusty paint off, okay? So there, now I've got it coming out really good. So I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to clean up around the edge here a little bit where I kind of got a little bit of a bleed. And don't worry about going over your lines, because if you go over your lines, just go over them after with your Copic marker, okay? So there, we got their faces done. So now, let's not play cap roulette. Let's put the caps on the right sides. There we go. And then I'm going to use my browns, and my browns are 23, 25, and 29. So now I did say I would see about doing a little belly here. What is this one? Let's do a 41. I'm going to try to do a little belly, and we'll do a little bit of a belly here on Mama. Okay, there we go. Let's see how that works out. I don't know. We shall see. All right, so we're going to come in now with our lightest color. I like to hold my caps, and I'll be coloring, and then I've got like 4 caps in my hands. I hang on to them like the whole time. I don't know why. I guess I'm like subconsciously worried I'm going to lose them, right? I don't know. I just like to hold on to them. So, going to color the whole thing here with the light color. Now here, I'm just going to do a line where her belly is. I'm not going to get like all technical about it. I'm just going to try and stay in the lines. That's all. That's my main objective, right? And I don't have to worry about coloring that perfect because I'm going to come back over it a couple times, right? So, got my 25 out. Now here, with the 25, I want to think about where there would be some shadows, or it would be darker. Underneath her neck will be darker. Now her arm's coming out, so underneath there is going to be a little darker as well. Maybe a little bit here because of the baby's head, right? A little bit here where her tail is. Try and look at where the lines are. I'm going to do some along her back because see, I did the dark over here on her head. So blend that in along her back. And then I'm just going to go lighter. Then I'm going to go over top of that, blending it out with the original color. Just in those areas though, okay? I don't want to saturate too much of the rest of it because I want to go over one more time at the end. And then I don't want it to be too dark, right? So E29. Now here, this is where I'm just going to go a little thinner and just kind of some outlines of where those dark areas are going to be. Less than I put on with the medium color, okay? A little less. And I'm going to do the baby on her own just because I want to focus here on Mama. Now I'm coming back in with my medium, okay? Because I go light, medium, light, dark, medium, light, okay? Because it's all about saturation, because as your Copic sinks into the paper, if it's saturated, it naturally blends within itself, okay, with each other. So, oops, that was my lightest color. I thought that was my dark one. Silly me. I wondered when I got down there why it looked a little different. There we go. Now it's all about just kind of bringing it all together. Okay, I'm going to keep that line really straight.
Kim Mickle.
Hi, Kim.
Saying, I learned so much from you.
Oh, I'm so glad. I love hearing that. I love hearing, oh, I love all the tips and tricks, or, oh, I had such a good time tonight. I love hearing that because then I know that you guys, you know, are enjoying it, right? And I'm all about the, you know, constructive criticism. If you're like, I just can't stand that, Heather. Okay.
Dana Kelly is saying that Santa brought her a scan and cut for Christmas.
Dina, you told me he might. Did you get the one that I showed you? Because I think that's all you really needed. Or did you get the upgraded model? I'm doing the same thing on the tail here. Light, medium, dark. And I didn't go back over my medium with my light because it's such a small area. So I'm just going to kind of... There we go. All right. So there's Mama. Okay. Now, baby. Let's get baby done here. Little baby otters. They're so stinking cute. I heard all those seals washed up dead outside of Russia. It was really sad. Speaking of Russia, we have another Ukrainian couple, or not really couple. Sia moved out. If that girl was lightning fast, I can't believe how fast she found a place. She either was really motivated to live by herself or she really couldn't stand us, one of the two. But nevertheless, she moved out. So I talked to the agency and I said, you know, it's Christmas. I just didn't have the heart to say, you know, we needed a break or anything, because what do we need a break from? And she's found a lady, I won't say their names or anything until I meet them and make sure it's okay with them, but a lady in her 30s and her 13-year-old daughter, and I gotta tell you, the poor woman is just terrified, which justifiably so. Can you imagine having to drag your child across the world? Like, I couldn't even imagine. The woman is a pillar of strength. So they're coming in on Monday, so I'm looking forward to having them here for Christmas. Now I'm just playing, going back a little bit. Now if you notice it's getting a little shiny, that's because your markers have been laying out too long, or it's not sinking into your paper, right? So my markers have been out for a bit. And what happened to my fan? What happened to my fan? Did you get unplugged? Hello? Hello, are you not plugged in? You cannot. No, you can't have no fan here. Uh-oh. Okay, there. The plug wasn't in that tight. And it's a USB, so if it's not plugged in, it won't run. But anyway, so yes, they're coming on Monday, so I'm really excited to meet them. She wants to stay in Canada, so she wants to make a life here. So I thought, well, that's awesome. Okay, so this part is done. So I kind of like the belly, but this is where it's going to be imperative to have some nice polychromos. Now, I'm not going to do a full tutorial about Prismacolor versus polychromos, but let's just, for all intents and purposes, explain one thing. They're apples and oranges, okay? One isn't better than the other. They're both amazing for what they are intended to do. Echo, turn on studio table. What they're intended to do, Prismacolor, is intended to give you a soft blend. It's a very soft core pencil because it is made from, it's a wax base, okay? Your Polychromos, on the other hand, will give you, you can work at a blend, you can get a blend, but it's a very hard core because it's an oil base, okay? So they do two different things. Now, I'm going to use the Polychromos for my shading, and I'm going to use it for my hair. Now, Polychromos are good because they're hardcore. You can get a nice fine tip, a nice pointy point, okay? This tea gal, I watched Sarah, Sarah Renee, she compared for me every single pencil sharpener that she could get her hands on. Do not use a electric one. Everybody should know that. You don't, that's too hard on your pencils. But this tea gal, this one isn't the #1 rated for Polychromos. It is #1 rated for Prismacolors because there's dials on here. And for Prismacolors, you want to keep it at about a 3 because it'll keep the wood at a different angle, so you're not exposing as much of your soft core. If you have Prismacolors, I want to see thumbs up, because you know if you sharpen these and the tips keep falling out, well, that's because your core is broken in here. Tip: if your core has been broken in here, try microwaving it. I don't know exactly how long. The girl at the art store was telling me this, and I was like, that is freaking brilliant because it's wax. So I'm going to test it next time I come across one that's... Are you guys seeing what I'm doing? As I'm talking, all the stuff is falling out of the hole here, like from my pencil sharpener. Anyway, I'm going to do the test for you and figure out how long, but keep it at about a 3. This tea gal, I linked them for you, and the link, actually, if you're in America, lucky you, I could only get blue, but the link I found you, because I do all my one linking for Amazon through Amazon US, it's a dang choice page. You can have pink, you can have green, you can have like, there's like 8 different colors. I was like, you spoiled Americans. Spoiled, aren't they, Heather? Spoiled. So, when you are using this for your Polychromos, like for instance this one, I'm going to crank it up to a 5 because it exposes more of the lead, more of the pencil, and it gives you this long long kind of sharp, okay? Sharpener. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. Because when I come in here on the belly, I'm going to see if I can come in just a wee bit more. That's as much as I can go. But I'm going to go a little bit more because I want a little bit more of a point here. Okay, that's perfect. When I come in on the belly, if you follow me for any length of a time, you know that I'm always preaching to do this. Flicking. Okay, so you're going to start here and you're just going to kind of flick it, all right? And if you need to practice your flicking, practice it here on your paper. You can always stamp an extra one of these too, and you can go in and you can kind of practice your flicking before you come in. But I'm going to come in here and I just want to do some flicking from this line of brown a little bit into the belly there, because I just kind of want to make it. Let me bring it up and show you first, okay? Let's see if I can. Okay, there. That's what it looks like right now. I got one little line in there, but it's a pretty harsh line. So I'm going to come in, just going to do some soft little flicks in here, just to create a little bit of hair. Now, let me bring this back up. So there, you can see now it's not near as harsh, okay? I want to do the same thing up here on the face, all right? And this one I use the Faber-Castell 283. Now on the head, I want to use, I think I used this one. Yes, I did. Okay, so this one is the 180. Now, this is where I brought these in, okay? Because I'm looking at the head. I'm going to take out my PCs because my PCs are not for fine detail. The Polychromos are for fine detail, right? So I brought this in and I'm kind of going through, and you see what I mean? How you can kind of go in and you can really look and see like which one you want. I could have even done 180, but I got 183 because that one I feel is a good match. It's going to make my hair stand out, right? My cleaner guy today was here and I said, he's bald. And I was about to say, I'll get out of your hair as I'm walking away. I said, okay, well, I'll get out of your bald head. And he starts laughing. I'll just get out of your bald head now, I says. Actually, I thought he was supposed to be here yesterday because I thought yesterday was Thursday. And it wasn't until, oh my gosh, you guys, Bella almost died yesterday. It's so traumatic. It's the worst thing. It's a dog owner's worst fear. She was choking on a rawhide. She had, I think she was worried the puppies were going to get it, and she just, I don't know, she either tried to swallow it too soon or it got stuck or something, and it was the most traumatic, awful experience ever. If you do not know doggy CPR, please go watch a YouTube video. It is so simple. I was trying doggy Heimlich. It wasn't working. I finally had her on her back. Her tongue was blue. Her eyes were like, I thought I literally was working on adrenaline. I thought she was going to die. And basically, you just got to kind of like get work on their throat. And I got it the first time, but these damn nails, it slipped and then I lost it. And then by the time I got it out, she wasn't doing very well, and I threw her in the vehicle, and I just hightailed it to the vet. And when they answered the phone, that was it. I just fell apart. I was bawling. So anyway, she's fine now. But if you have a pet and you don't know doggy CPR, please watch a YouTube video. Anyway, so I called Todd. Now here, I feel like I was talking, and it's a little darker than I wanted. I got a little bit too much. So I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit with my Gamasol, okay? So anyway, I called Todd, and of course I started bawling again. The one day, he's not been to the office since March of 2022, and yesterday was the Christmas luncheon via Zoom. So the one day he's not here, he's at the office, I phone him and I'm like bawling. I'm like, I just left the vet. Bella almost died. And I'm all crying. He's like, what? So anyway, by the end of the conversation, I pulled into the driveway. I said, well, what time are you going to be home? I have my thing tonight. He goes, what thing? I said, well, what thing do you think I mean? It's what day do you think, what day is it? He goes, Wednesday. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. I thought it was Thursday. I stayed up till, this is God's honest truth. Because I thought it was Wednesday the day before, I stayed up till 4 in the morning to finish these for you guys. And they weren't even done. I still had to work on them all day. And then I was at the vet with Bella. So I was busting a butt to get these for you guys for today. And it wasn't even bloody Thursday. It was Wednesday. So I texted my house cleaner guy and I'm like, did you come here today? And he's thinking, oh my God, did someone try to break into her house? So I'm just fanning this out a little bit with my Gamasol. It just kind of gives me a softer, a little bit of, like you can still see all the hairs. Focus there. Oh, okay. Are you going to focus on your own there? You can still see all the hairs, but I just kind of fanned them out a little. So anyway, that was like my day. So he was thinking, oh my God, did someone try to break into your house? I'm like, no, I thought you were supposed to be here. But it wasn't even the right day. Because I got up at 10 to 10 because I didn't go to bed till after 4. And by the time I got to bed, the puppies were like, oh, is it daytime? So they wanted to wake up and play and I had to take them out. By the time I actually got into bed, and I think sometime around 4:30 was when I probably succumbed to sleep. So I got up at 10 to 10. But I was busting my butt to get these for you guys. Bleached ones what? Thank you, Jeanette. I don't think Bella would be here if I didn't. And I was kind of thankful Todd wasn't here because I could just hear him. Oh, but do this or try that or do, and that would have just, that's like trying to be a paramedic with someone screaming over your ear. Like you just have to tune everything out. So anyway, here, all I want to do is I want to, what did I do on my other one? I want to bring a little line here along his arm. Sorry, Heather, what did you say?
They said the bleached ones, they were talking about the rawhides. That the rawhides are bad for puppies, especially bleached ones.
I think I threw them out, but I wanted to show you the culprit. Hold on. I think I threw them out. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, here, they're in this garbage. This is what was in her throat. This. But it was, and here's my hand so you can see how big it is. But it was only the top half, like this part was not there. It was only this. And it was, I'm trying to grab it this way and it was wet and slimy and I have long nails and I couldn't get it the first time. But, yeah. It was awful. It was awful. It was never again. So she's never done it in the past, but guess what? She'll never have the opportunity to do it again in the future because they're gone. That's it. No more. So I'm going to do a little line on the back here of the little guy. And there we go. Now, what I want to do here before I cut this out, I want to take my, what time is it? Holy cow. I want to take my jelly roll. This is the black one. I linked it for you guys. And I want to go over the nose because it really adds that little bit of shine, like a little bit of reflectiveness. Am I drawing out here? There we go. I like that. And then a little on the eye. And then I'm going to do this guy's nose and his eyes. It just kind of makes it pop, right? So let me put that to the side. I want to show you how we're going to do this background because we're going to use a combination of Distress Oxides, and pencils, and Copics. Okay, so our Copics are these guys. So we're going to do sky, water, sand. All right? It's going to be cool. Now, first thing I'm going to do is okay, this is how I did it. This is how I did it. You're going to be like, how are you going to do all three of these on one sheet of paper? Well, I'm going to show you. So, B93. Now, I like to use this side, And funny enough, I accidentally pulled out one of the other sides, and it occurred to me, I totally forgot this happens, but if you don't use this side a lot, this side will go dry, okay? And this side is actually dry on this one, and that's fine. I'm not replacing it, because guess what? My ink is going this way, not into here, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So, I'm going to use the brush end. So the first thing I'm going to do, and if you have a problem with this, draw with a pencil first, okay? But I'm just going to go for it, and I'm just going to draw my wave, okay? And I'm just going to go down like this. And by the time I'm done, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. So I'm just going to do two different kind of waves, you know what I mean? One that goes, or this way I mean, I want to go up. I don't know. We'll figure it out with the medium. Now the medium, I'm going to come in halfway. That's the dark. Okay, that's the dark. This one's the light. So I'm just going to come in, and then I'm going to go this way. How did I do that? I didn't do that on my other one, but I'm trying to, this way. I don't know. I was trying to do another direction, but whatever. So if I go like that, that's the same as that one, but if I go like this and go up, okay, let's do that. And then this one, we're going to go up and then down. Kind of get a little bit different going in here. And I'm just going to keep working this, okay, until they're kind of blended in. And it doesn't matter which way you go. It's just water. There's no rhyme or reason to this, really. There we go. Medium. I'm just going back and forth. Medium, dark, medium, dark. It doesn't matter. There we go. Let's do one this way. Just make sure you get to your edges. Don't overdo your top. And then when I was all done, I did one little light line right here, like this. Okay, so let's blend this all in. Get a little bit of our darker color going again. There we go. So I'm just, no rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of go until you think you've got enough blend going on. Actually, I'm going to have to bring this down a bit, come to think of it, because of my sand. Okay. That looks about good to me. I want a little bit more dark in here. Like that. Let's make this one come up a different way, and then fill it in with the medium. Okay, that's pretty good. Can you hear my dogs barking? Papa's playing with them upstairs. The Ukrainian gal that's coming, I was telling her daughter about the puppies, and she's like, oh my gosh, she can't wait. She's jumping up and down with excitement to see the puppies. I'm like, of course she is. Okay, so there's our water, all right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to make our dirt first, our sand, and I'm going to just grab a scrap piece of paper. I have to check something though, because I have this perpetual problem, yes, with these being the wrong size. Okay, 4, and that happened to me last night when I was making the one card. So this one is 4, okay, good. So all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to get my big girl scissors out, and I just want to, I want to make it taller than I need, okay? And all I'm going to do is just kind of do this, like, I just want it kind of rough. Like I don't want to point. I'm not building sandcastles. So that's kind of what I cut, okay? I don't want it super uniform, okay? And I'm going to bring out my straw and my frayed burlap, all right? And with this, I'm going to use, I forgot to put these ones down, but they're in my kit.co. So these two. Okay, so I'm going to come in with the scattered straw first, and I just kind of want to make a mess of it like that. I just want it to be messy. Let's go in and zoom here so you can see closer. Then I'm going to come in with my frayed burlap, and I just kind of want to pounce it. I don't want to blend this in too much, okay? I want to kind of pounce it a bit. Like maybe a little bit down here blend out some of my harsh lines. But I'm pretty much just doing this pouncy thing. Now, let me grab my, I don't want fingerprints in here. Because this is dirt, right? Sand. So if you're blending it all smooth and perfect, you don't have any texture in there. So let's make sure we've got some texture going on. See, we've got some texture in here. Now normally I go much slower and I take my time, but you know what happens? I look up at the clock and then I'm like, because I try to not keep you guys here for more than an hour. And it's funny because the videos are always end up being an hour and a half because I come 10 minutes early and then I leave, 20 minutes late, but I try to be conscious of your time and attention span, that's why I try to keep talking the whole time. All right, now I'm going to bring in a little bit of my yellow just to blend this up a little bit in here. It's kind of a labor of love. You're kind of building, so now I kind of want to start being a little careful that I'm not getting the edge of my brush now, okay, because I'm kind of reaching the final stages here. The bottom, you can kind of make it a little darker because it's naturally going to be darker near the bottom. So Todd and I, did I tell you guys about the fair we went to and we bought, I'm walking along and I see on this television screen Super Mario Brothers? I was like, what the? I'm like, tell me about this. And he's like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. It comes on a little HDMI stick. I'm like, an HDMI? He goes, yeah, it's just like this big. And I'm like, and the game's on there. He goes, well, there's like 64 games on there. And then I said to him, well, how can you do that legally? He's like, oh, well, Mario Brothers doesn't have a copyright anymore. And I'm like, well, they're kind of stupid. So we bought it because I loved Mario Brothers when I was younger. And come home, and it's such a scam. The dang jump button doesn't work, or if it does, it's delayed, da-da-da-da. So then I'm reading the receipt, and it says that there's a restocking fee. So I thought, well, hold on a second here, because you're not gonna take me for $100. So I Googled, does Nintendo have a copyright on Super Mario Brothers, which they do until 2080. So I sent a very kind email and just said, hey, yada, yada, yada. And they're more than happy to give us our money back. But I was so disappointed. I wanted to play Super Mario Brothers. Okay, so here, I'm just going to follow this line, okay, where I kind of did the blue, all right? And I'm going to try and follow it as closely as possible. So this is where I'm going to take my time. Okay.
Keep your fingers out of the way.
Yeah, I was using my Simon Says stamp snips the other day and I snapped right into my finger. I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Well, I can, but I was like, are you kidding me? All right, so here. Now we have After Dark tonight, so unfortunately some of this I might have to finish in After Dark. And if you are not an Inkie bestie, you can get a free trial. The rest of the month is free, and you probably want to join this month no later than next month, because I forgot to mention, Inkie besties, anyone who is a member for 1 year gets a special gift from me. And the Inkie Bestie tenure coins, that's your tenure for being there for a year. I have one behind me. I haven't revealed the other side of it yet, but the Inkie Bestie tenure coins were mailed out via tracked packet, faster mail last week. So what I'm going to do here is I went in, and I know which colors I have here. I just have to figure out which ones I used. Here. Oh, there's another thing I did here. So in that stamp set is a wave, and this wave comes like a straight line. Waves they're not straight lines in the water. So I just kind of curled it as I stuck it on my stamp, like I just manipulated it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Oh, you know what else? I should probably, I do not have enough time tonight at all. We're going to be inky after dark doing this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna stay late though and do as much as I can. So, oops, this guy got straight somehow. That's no bueno. Let's curve you a little. So we're gonna curve you. There, this little one's a little harder to curve, but and I'm trying to curve it and not get the ink all over my fingers. There we go. So that's curved now. Okay. Come back in, and you gotta watch where you put this because it's wet. Everything wants to stick to it. Now, I have to tell you what I did last night. I'm such a ding-dong. So this one, I want it to be, I know my head probably got in the way. There we go. I want it to be somewhere nearer to the top for the big wave because that's where our little otter is going to sit. Now, I was like, well, if I do this, I don't want this one, so I'm just going to turn it upside down and stamp it again. The wave's upside down. So I'm going to take this one off, stick it over here, and then I'm going to curve this a different way. Okay, I'm going to curve it this way so that when I put it on here, it's a little bit different. That's better. Okay, so, oh, I got a lot of ink on there. Yeah, icky. No bueno. Okay. So this one, let's do this somewhere. Sorry for my head. Let's do it like that. Okay, there we go. Those are done. Now, what I want to do is, let's do our sky really quick. I'll do the sky because then it'll make sense why I'm going to put pencil crayons on here. Okay. Need a baby wipe. Thank God for Costco. Huggies baby wipes. Or the Costco brand. They're just as good too. I don't know why I bought the Huggy ones this time. But this top half, okay, this here is our sky, right? So this is where we're going to start. And I'm going to start with broken china. It's got a little bit of green in it, but it was a little greener than I wanted. But you know what? It really differentiates the, I was going to say grass from the sky, the water from the sky. So I'm going to come in with my broken china. And I want this one to be pretty heavy down here, okay? Pretty heavy there. And don't worry about this, okay? Because this is all going to blend in. No problemo. Let's get this a little darker. This is where your little postie is going to come in handy too, because you don't want to put your fingerprints on there after you've started, right? Because I think I did these backwards. I think this was supposed to be this one. Yep. Oh well. C'est la vie. Okay, now here. One of the things you don't want to do is this up here, okay? You don't want, like, you want a little bit of your white to show, and that's perfectly fine. And you don't want to make this perfectly smooth either, okay? So you see how I'm just kind of like going with a light hand, and it's, you can see some white and stuff through it, because you're coming in from the dark and then you're going to the lighter, right? And I'm going to cover all of that salvage patina, all of that broken china with the tumbled glass, because as you can see, it kind of makes it a little bit more blue. And as I go up, I'm just backing off on my pressure. Okay, like down here, I'm applying a lot of pressure. It's like I'm white knuckling it down there. But as I get higher, I'm kind of backing off on that pressure, because you can see now that it naturally creates a sky with the white, because the sky has white in it, right? So same over here, just naturally backing off. And if some spots are a little darker than others, c'est la vie. It's a sky, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a pretty predominant line there, so I'm just going to do a little bit to make it not so predominant, and there we go. I've got a sky. Now, I went in, and there's a video on YouTube, actually. I wanted to see if anybody had done it, because I was going to do one. And, I mean, there's no reason why I still can't, but why? If somebody already did it, don't need to do it again. But they did a white ink comparison, and Stampin' Up's white is the most opaque. I know it's not entirely opaque, but as per that video, at the time that video was made, And that's the thing too, you have to remember is you might watch a video and you might find that, I don't know, one of the ones that she used is better than the Stampin' Up! One. Well, that's because whatever manufacturer they were using at the time that they manufactured that ink, or, you know, the makeup of the ink, like anything could change from the time that person did that video until the time that you go and get it. So if you have Stampin' Up! Whisper White and another white ink that you feel is darker, more opaque, let me know, because I will go and buy them all and do a video, okay? Now, what I used here was one of these guys. I got to buy another one of these sets because I find that that it's too hard to get the color out of these. Like, oh, I got blue in here. I had yellow. It took me 3 hours to get the yellow out. And I don't bother if they're wet. It doesn't bother me. I don't pick up my ink from here. I'm picking it up from the pan because I can pick up a good amount of white in there, okay? And all I'm going to do is, I don't want too much, is I'm going to come in and all I want to do is make little circular motions like this, okay? And I'm just going to kind of make circular motions until I feel like I've got a cloud. And you see here how I'm leaving, let's focus please. There we go. How I'm leaving little bits inside the cloud. It's perfectly fine. Not every cloud has to look like that, okay? Because clouds don't technically look like that, all right? So if it looks a little bit more realistic, so be it. And then pick up a little white and make some areas a little whiter than others. I mess around with my clouds way too much, but I'm just gonna pretend that I like that. And then I'm gonna do another one up over here, different shape. Just get your, like your, that looks like a speech bubble. Just get it kind of down there. And then you see here how I'm getting all this blue in my pan, all this blue here. Well, at least that's not on my ink pad, right? Because you can see I got a little blue there, a little yellow there. So just go out of your pan and then you don't have to worry about it. You can wipe that out after, right? But all I'm doing is those little circular motions like this, and I keep going and going and going, okay? Until I get my cloud the way I like it. And I kind of like that, but my yellow is starting to show through. So I'm going to kind of go over it again with some more white. I might even have to get a vice grip out. If you've ever tried to get the ink out of this refill bottle, I tell you, you need to get a bloody vice grip. Because it's like, and this is all wrecked because I had pliers and I've squeezed it with pliers and everything trying to get the stuff out of there. It's ridiculous. But, okay.
Karen is asking, what is the yellow thing she's using?
The yellow thing she's using is linked down below. It's also, right, where's my finger? Right here. Right here in my kit.co, my Inkie fingers, under tools. It's made by Yosang, the same people that make these. And I love them. And I actually have these ones. And I like these, but not for this, because I find that these, they're a little too loose. So you get the little hairs kind of pop out like this. Now, that's all fine and dandy for certain things, but I don't want the little hairs popping out like that. So I'm using a more of a precision one here. So I'm just going to, whoa, that's a lot of white. Hold on. So this here, yeah, I've used them before, Miss Karen. But they are linked down below for you. They're on Amazon. And it is an affiliate link. I appreciate it when you use them. But if you click an Amazon link of mine, it is only good for 24 hours, okay? So if you want me to get credit, you have to check out in 24 hours or click the link again before you check out. I'm going to do a video for, I get so many questions and you guys messaging me, hey, I just got such and such, did you get credit? So there's the, I'm going to do one more actually. I'm going to do one more right here. Just one more little one right
yes,
here.
Yes, Karen, it's a brush, not a pencil.
It is a brush.
Picking up ink.
Right here. So it's the exact same as these. Made up of the same stuff. Same stuff as these. But as you can see how much shorter, which way am I going? This way. See how much shorter it is? So you get more control.
can fit in tight spots.
Yes. Okay, so there. And if you feel like you've got too much, you can come in and pick some of that off as well. You know what I mean, if you want to. But once you get it, just leave it, because I liked it and now I messed with it. And okay, so anyway, there's my leaves. Okay, or my leaves. Yeah, they're my white leaves in the sky. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to do is these are going to go back together. Okay, but I don't want them to go back together like this. Okay, this is where we're going to step this up big time with our pencil crayons. Okay, so I used my swatches, right, that we made. Okay, and I figured out my colors, and I have got my 181. That one's not the one I'm using. I've got my 901. I'm going to use this one, 901, and I'm going to use this one, which is Periwinkle, 1025. These are Prismas, okay, and this one is my Sky, so that one's on the other side. So on my Sky, I'm going to do 1088. That's my Sky, and where's my other one? Here it is. 905. These are all Prismas, okay, these ones. And then I have a Faber-Castell 181. And I'll show you that in a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this almost flat because I want to do exactly what you just saw me do here. I'm going to zoom in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one and I'm just going to color a flat amount. Can you see it starting, that line starting right there? A flat amount along here. And this is going to help if you didn't cut it absolutely perfectly. So when you're cutting, if anything, cut a little on the other side of your water, because this was white, our Sky, right? So you'll have a bit of a white line there, which is perfectly fine because it'll go away once you're done this. So there we go. So now I'll show you what I've got here. There we go. Can you see all along here that pencil? If I put it behind white, you'll probably really see. Okay, now we're going to take my, yes, you know who you are. I found bottles, so I linked these little bottles. They're just regular though, unless you want to buy a jam bottle. I found nice little ones with gold lids on them, but I did find them. So I linked them for you guys. So now I'm just going to take my Gamasol and I'm going to blend that out, okay? Then I'm going to come in with the next darkest one, which is the Indigo Blue 901. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to put as much. I'm just going barely along the edge. See how little of a line I'm putting there? So I'm just barely doing that edge, okay? Now I got to get my groove going again here. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, okay, good. And if you get a little much, so be it. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's why, because I'm trying to use this side, and this side of the pencil is missing because there's a chip out of it. There's a chip out of the old block. I'm going to use the other side of my stump, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to blend that out. Okay. And these work really well over top of Copics. And you're going to see that they work really well over top of, it's coming to me, Distress Oxides. Now I'm going to come in with this Faber-Castell. This is the dark one, the 181. And I'm going to do one. You could, I suppose, pick this up too and hold it just like you're edging, you know what I mean? I don't like doing it that way though. I suppose it might be easier though if you're just new at it. Yeah, it kind of is a little easier. And again, I'm going to blend this out. Blend this line out quite a bit more. There we go. Now, I want you to see when I put these together. Now, do you see how it crusted it? Because the water is lighter here, okay? But where it crests and it's going to meet, I wanted that differentiation. So now I'm going to do the same thing on my Sky, but I'm going to use the other two Prismacolors, the teal, the 905 and the 1088, okay? So I'm going to come in. I'm going to do my dark first, which doesn't matter really. You could do it either way. This isn't a big area, so I wouldn't worry about, oh, do I do the dark first or the light first? If you do the light last, it goes over top of your dark, which is kind of what I want here. I want to kind of tone it down a bit, but I still want that color coming through, right? So if I just put a little over the top, you can see it already toned it down. And I'm going to use the other, this side's the one I used for the dark. I use the same tip, but the other side of the tip. And I'll just come in, and I'm just going to blend that out. Now watch when I put these together. There we go. Doesn't that look pretty? So you can kind of see the crest of the sky and the crest of the water. Now, next is this guy. Okay, so this is our dirt. But we don't want to just stick our dirt here. No, no, no. So let's move all of our blues. I need to keep this one and this one and this one. And for our browns, I think I went with this one, and then this one, the Polychromos. Yes, okay. So I'll do this one darkest to lightest. I'm using 941 umber, and I'm just going to go right across my dirt. Okay, and I don't mind if I hit a little darker on the peak, but where I want the darker is more in the little valleys, okay? So the little parts where I went down, kind of want it a little darker there. And then I'm just going to come in with the, oh, wrong one, the 941, and I'm going to go an all over color here. And again, if you're struggling to get your color down, don't be afraid to pick it up. This isn't it's not nature to me to pick it up, but you do you. And then a little darker in my valleys here, these little areas. Now that looks kind of a little bit like a hot mess right now. And on focus, right? Kind of looks a little bit like a hot mess. But once you come in.
Oh, your camera just shut off on your face.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. OBS crashed. That's a first. Never done that before. Wow. Okay, that's all right. So it looks like a little bit of a hot mess right now. Okay, see, it kind of looks kind of really bad. But, okay, stream looks okay. Dang.
Kara's asking, why are you going over the oxide with Prismacolors versus just using the oxides again?
Because I get a different variation, and I can't take a Prismacolor and blend it out with my Gamasol the same way. So first of all, you can see now, see that really nice crest I've got going on? I can't do that with, I can't get the same precision. Now you can, if you want to, use your distress oxides by all means. Use what you have, right? But this, you're just going to get so much more precision. Now, I want that nice crisp line here, hence why I'm using my Polychromos pencil, okay, because I want that nice crisp line of this color. And the other thing too, Karen, is you have 10 times the color variations available to you when you use, now look at that. Will you look at that when you use your pencils, okay? So I can see that I'm going to want this somewhere down about there. So I'm probably going to end up trimming this, okay? But what I want to do next, and I'm going to do these, and then I'm going to color the rock and whatnot. I'm going to show you the final card before I leave you. And then I'll finish this card over in the After Dark. And if you want to join us in the After Dark, then head over to my website, www.myinkiefingers.com. It's like right here. And then click Inkie Bestie, get a free trial, and you can join us. All you do is click the Inkie Bestie links page, and your link is right there. It'll show you how to get to us. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in first of all with my 1025, I believe. Yep. And I'm going to go right over top of these lines, pretty harsh, okay? And I'm just going to go over over top of them till they're muted. So they look like that. So see how I kind of muted it down? I'm going to do that for each one. And be careful with how hard you're pressing on your Prismacolor because they're very soft. They can break. But again, if you use the T-Gal and you sharpen it down to a 3, not a 5, a 3, and watch the hole because it likes to spread all over your desk. See how you get a shorter amount of wood here compared to this one. That is sharpening it at a 5. This is a 5 compared to a 3. So you can see it doesn't expose as much of your pencil. Pencil sharpeners are the key. Invest in a pencil sharpener because it will give you longevity on your pencil crayons, okay? So it's kind of like you don't put a Pinto motor in a tank.
Mustang?
A Mustang. Exactly. You got to have the right tools for the job. Okay, so now I've got that there. I'm going to come in now with a liner here of gray. And this one is my 234. And I'm going to go right over top of the black line. And because this is pointier, it's really going to bring that black line back. But it's going to bring it back more gray. So it's not so black and stark, if you will. So let me just finish this one and then I shall show you. And this one you can kind of rest assured that you can press a little harder because this one is your oil base, right? Your Fabers. So you've got a little bit more room to, and you see there how I've kind of muted those down. Now I'm going to come in with the indigo. I'm going to sharpen this up. Oh, sharpen it up a little bit. This one here is my Prismacolor, and I don't have this exact color in a Faber-Castell Polychromos. That's why I'm going to use this one. But I'm going to come in, and all I want to do is color this color kind of underneath the gray that I put, okay? So I just want to kind of bring in a little bit of, I'll show you. Let me just kind of, instead of trying to explain what I'm doing, I'll lift it up. Okay, so now, if you look at this one compared to this one, you can see that it's kind of coming to life a little bit. I can kind of clean it up a little bit there. But just bringing this just underneath it all kind of brings in just a little bit more color to those little waves, okay? So this would be another reason why having your pencils just gives you that much more ability to add stuff to your piece of art. Now I'm going to kind of come in and just blend those out a little bit because it is my Prismacolor. They blend quite easily. So as you can see there. So don't worry too much about your little harsh lines. Try not to blend out your gray though above it where you just put in with your Faber pencil. And if you don't have a Faber and you're using Prismacolor, that's perfectly fine. Just try not to blend it out too much. This here, I got quite a bit of color going there, but that's all right. Now, from here, the last thing I want to do is grab my... Some things I need a magnet on them, so I can just kind of take a magnet thing and go, oh, there's my artisan marker. But, yeah, so... I only have so many things here on my table, so it's bound to appear eventually. Here, let's just start picking them up. It's not there. Are you in here? Do you guys see the artisan in here? Wilbur! Wilbur! I didn't put it away. No. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right there in front of my face. Okay, so again, the stuff will probably be dried. Yep. So I'm just going to wipe it off. This one's a wet baby wipe. And I'm going to bring it down. I probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just... Okay, putting my little dots on my black paper. So I'm going to come in here now, and I'm going to make some little white lines underneath. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Underneath my waves.
You hold your tongue the right way.
Yes. You gotta like, Do you know somebody who you look over and they're doing something intently and their tongue's out? Todd, you know what he does? He does this thing with his mouth where he's like, and he does this thing, and I'm like, I look at him, I go, who are you talking to? Because he's not really talking. He goes, nobody, I'm thinking. And he does this weird thing with his mouth. It's like, okay, you keep thinking, honey. I had to get my marker going again because, well, it's a paint marker. So there. Now I just kind of, you know, made my waves look a little bit brighter. And you can keep it going like all the way too if you don't like that kind of thing. I can show you here. If you don't like it going in bits, if it feels kind of like unfinished or whatever, you can keep it going all the way. You know, you do how you like. But before you glue this now, and I do really want to show you the fish, because I'll show you on the card. I'll finish it in the after dark. But the fish, there's a really good way to do the fish. Stamp them on here and color them, but it looks like they're in the water. I'll show you on the finished card. This guy, I linked it for you. If you have followed me from the beginning, you know these knives terrify me. But this, I feel safer using this because if it slips, it's not going to fall out of my hand and cut myself, right? So for this, you want to take this guy. Let's put the lid on here and I'll show you how you want to kind of determine how to do this. Where's those scissors I tried to like cut myself open with? Because they're amazing little scissors. Those, oh, don't put your baby wipes on your swatches. Those sign that says stamp little snips are the best snips for fussy cutting, but I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are right now. I'll have to use regular old snips. But if you got that card kit, because I got a card kit from them, they sent me there a few months ago, and it had those in it. Dang, they're really good snips. Like, they just cut so perfectly, but they also cut you very good too, so be careful. So anyway, let me just cut this guy out. I'll just cut the one dude out. But I mean, oh, they're so wonderful for fussy cutting. Yes, I have a brother, but it's just one image. By the time I get it all set up, and I could have had a bath by the time I could have got it all set up, and you'll see if you have a brother, sometimes you're just going to be like, oh, it's only one image. It's just quicker to just kind of cut it out. And fussy cutting doesn't really bother me, especially with those dang, Simon says stamp snips, but I don't see them here. They're really good snips. I love them. I almost want to buy another pair just to hoard them and put them away in case, like, I don't know. What if they don't have them again? It's like when you have your favorite lipstick. You know, when you buy like 7 of them and then 20 years later you go in and you're like, oh, how rude! You don't have my favorite lipstick? How many times that's happened to me? God forbid Max stops making NC40. That's what gives me my pancake face. Remember that guy who said I have Sharpie eyebrows and a pancake makeup? Who is this chick with her Sharpie eyebrows and her pancake makeup, he says. Or whatever. He was quite rude, but anyway, NC40, that's what gives me the pancake makeup. It just takes the shine off, you know. I hardly wear any makeup. I thought that was quite hilarious. Okay, Mr. Otter, there we go. So now what I want to do is I want to determine, I got glue here. I want to cut this so that he kind of tucks in here in this little dip. And this really wasn't planned. I didn't plan to make the dip perfect. I didn't even think of that. But if it matters to you, then you might want to consider that. So I'm going to start this somewhere around here. And where I'm going to cut this is above all of my shading. So I'm not going to, because I want to see my little waves that I worked so hard at blending up here. So there's one. And you're just doing little smiley faces, if you will.
Turn the paper.
Yes, and that's what I did. Last night I was like, oh, if you turn the paper, it really, really helps. Instead of like, you know, fighting with it all. I was like, that's so genius. Why didn't I think of that before? Because it's the same with your fussy cutting, right? So I was doing this and I'm like, oh yeah. I just invented that idea. You heard it here first.
Yeah, Cheryl Davis says when she needs to concentrate on the car, I have to turn the music down. And I said, yes, to read street signs, music must be low.
Cheryl. Okay, now for him or her, them, what you're going to want to do, I'm just got so many Wilburs here today. I tell you what.
You had it all out last night.
I know. I don't know what my problem is. Okay, so one on the head and maybe a half a one here down on the little baby. Okay, because when we put these in, those are going to kind of keep it up. You know what I mean? So let's just, I'm going to put that in after. But it is 20 after. So what I'm going to do is show you what the card looks like done. And dirty's all over here. And I got, my brush touched it. I'm going to have to fix that. That's okay.
No.
I know. Anyhow, the finished card right here. Okay? I'd be utterly lost without you. Now, these little fishies, it's so easy because of pencil crayons to make them look like, don't they look like they're in the water? They're this color. But when they're in the water, they're that color. So I'm going to do him and them in the after dark and then the rocks. And the rocks are right on here, stamped on there. And these are colored with the Prismacolors. And I used 1076, 941. No, take 1076 out of there. I don't remember. Yeah, 1076. Not this one. 1076, 1072, and here it is. 1068. Okay, so that's for the rocks. So, and look at my upside down one. You probably wouldn't have noticed it was upside down unless I said something, but so stinking cute. And this up here is all just naturally left like this one, okay? You know, just from not blending on it too much. So I've got all my little inky besties going. Okay, do we get after dark tonight? And we're a little bit late. I want to kind of fix this up, but we are going to go after dark, and we're going to finish up this card. And then I got something else I want to try and see if I have enough time to start working on too. So I will say goodnight. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Hopefully you got lots of tips and tricks and you're all excited to use whatever pencil crayons you have on hand. If you don't have a full collection, I highly suggest the swatch charts because you can take a photo of them after you've got them colored in, keep it on your phone, keep them in an album called inventory. Do the same with all your swatches. Then when you're at the store, you don't have to worry, oh my God, what was it that I needed or what don't I have? You can look at your swatch chart and just, you know which ones are empty, right? So if you pick those up, make sure you come back tomorrow. Check the link on the Polychromos so that you can get these guys, and I will get that one uploaded for the Prismacolors sometime next week as well, okay? So, would you like to say goodnight, Heather?
Good night, Inky peeps.
Good night, Inky peeps. Thank you for joining us, and until I see you again, take care.